The sky burned orange and red as another explosion shook the ground. Tae-woo pressed his back against the broken wall and waited. The war had been going on for 3 years now. Humans against the Kalori Empire. Millions had died on both sides. But today, the fighting had stopped on this small frontier planet called Vega 7. Tae-woo was 42 years old. He had been a soldier for 20 years. His body carried 17 scars from battles he barely survived. 6 months ago, he retired. He was tired of killing. He was tired of watching young soldiers die. So he came to this quiet planet to live alone and grow vegetables. But the war followed him here. He looked at the burning city in the distance. The Kalori ships had come 3 days ago. They destroyed everything. The human military fought back and won, but the cost was terrible. Now the city was empty. Most people were dead or gone. Tae-woo walked through the ruins. His boots crushed broken glass and burned wood. He was looking for survivors, anyone who needed help. But he found only bodies and silence. The sun began to set. Tae-woo decided to go back to his small farm outside the city. He had done what he could. There was no one left to save. Then he heard it. A small sound, like a child crying. He stopped walking. He listened carefully. The sound came from a destroyed building nearby. It used to be a school, he thought. Now, it was just broken walls and fallen roofs. Tae-woo moved toward the sound. He climbed over large pieces of stone and metal. The crying became louder. It was coming from under a collapsed section of the roof. He knelt down and looked into a small dark space. 2 pairs of eyes looked back at him. Children. 2 little girls, maybe 7 or 8 years old. They were holding each other tightly. Their clothes were torn and dirty. Their faces were covered in dust and tears. But their eyes were strange. They were golden, like liquid gold shining in the darkness. Tae-woo had never seen eyes like that before. "It's okay," he said softly. "I won't hurt you. I'm here to help." The girls did not move. The smaller one buried her face in her sister's shoulder. The older one stared at Tae-woo with those golden eyes. There was no fear in her gaze, only careful watching, like a small animal deciding if he was dangerous. "Are you hungry?" Tae-woo asked. He reached into his bag and pulled out a food bar. He held it toward them. The older girl's nose moved slightly. She was smelling the food. Her stomach made a loud sound. She was very hungry. Slowly, carefully, she reached out and took the food bar. She broke it in half and gave the bigger piece to her sister. Then she ate her half in 3 quick bites. Tae-woo smiled. "I have more food at my home. It's not far. Will you come with me?" The older girl looked at her sister. Something passed between them, a silent conversation that Tae-woo could not understand. Then the older girl nodded. Tae-woo helped them out of the rubble. They were thin and weak. He could feel their bones through their skin. How long had they been hiding there? Days? A week? "What are your names?" he asked as they walked. The older girl spoke. Her voice was quiet but clear. "I am Yuna. This is my sister, Hana." "Nice to meet you, Yuna and Hana. I am Tae-woo." Hana, the younger one, finally looked at him. She had the same golden eyes as her sister. "Are you a soldier?" she asked. "I was," Tae-woo said. "Not anymore. Now I'm just a farmer." "Farmers grow food?" Hana asked. "Yes, we like food," Hana said seriously. Tae-woo laughed. It was the first time he had laughed in months. "Then you will like my farm." They reached his home as the last light left the sky. It was a small house with 3 rooms. Nothing fancy, but it was warm and safe. He had a kitchen, a bedroom, and a living room. Behind the house was his garden where he grew vegetables. Tae-woo made soup for the girls. They ate 4 bowls each. He watched them eat with wide eyes. Such small bodies, but such big appetites. Where did all that food go? After dinner, he gave them clean clothes and warm blankets. They would sleep in his bedroom. He would sleep on the floor in the living room. Tomorrow, I will try to find your parents, Taewoo said. Yuna shook her head. We have no parents. Everyone has parents. We had a mother, Yuna said. But she is gone. Very far away. She cannot find us here. Taewoo felt his heart become heavy. War orphans. He had seen so many during his years as a soldier. Children with no family, no home, no future. Then you can stay here, he said. The words came out before he could think. For now. Until we figure out what to do. Yuna looked at him for a long moment. Those golden eyes seemed to see inside him. To see his heart and his intentions. Then she nodded once. Thank you, Taewoo. That night, Taewoo lay awake on the floor. He stared at the ceiling and wondered what he had just done. He was a retired soldier. He knew nothing about raising children. He could barely take care of himself, but those two girls had no one else. And he remembered being alone. After his own parents died in a war when he was young, he remembered the cold, the hunger, the fear. No child should feel those things. In the bedroom, Yuna and Hana were also awake. They lay close together under the blankets. Their bodies were already warmer than they had been in days. Sister, Hana whispered. Is this human safe? I think so. Yuna whispered back. He has a kind heart. I can smell it. Will Mother find us? Yuna was quiet for a moment. Mother is far away. Fighting in the Great War. She told us to hide. She told us to survive. This human will help us survive, but he doesn't know what we are. No, Yuna agreed. He doesn't. And we will not tell him. Not yet. Mother said humans fear our kind. If he knew we were dragons, he might send us away. Hana nodded. She pressed closer to her sister. I don't want to leave. I like the soup. Yuna smiled in the darkness. I like the soup too. Outside the small house, the stars filled the sky. Somewhere far away, beyond those stars, a great war was happening. A war that Taewoo knew nothing about. A war between the Dragon Empire and its many enemies. And somewhere in that war, a queen was searching for her two missing daughters, the daughters she had hidden on a small, unimportant human planet. The daughters she had ordered to stay safe until she could come for them. The daughters who had just been adopted by a simple human farmer who had no idea what he had brought into his home. Taewoo slept peacefully that night. For the first time in many years, he did not dream of war. He dreamed of the sound of children laughing in his garden. He did not know that his life had just changed forever. He did not know that those two little girls were the heirs of the most powerful dragon in the galaxy. He only knew that they were hungry and alone and that he could help. And sometimes, that is enough. 3 months passed on the small planet of Vega 7. The war moved to other systems. The ruined city began to rebuild, and in the small farmhouse outside the city, Taewoo's life became something new. Every morning, he woke up to the sound of small feet running across the floor. Yuna and Hana were always awake before him. They had more energy than any children he had ever seen. They ran and jumped and played from sunrise to sunset. And they never seemed to get tired. Taewoo taught them how to work on the farm. He showed them how to plant seeds and water the vegetables. Yuna was careful and patient. She liked to work with the small plants. Hana was wild and fast. She preferred to chase the birds away from the crops. But there were strange things about the girls, things that Taewoo noticed but did not understand. The first strange thing happened in the second week. Taewoo was cooking dinner when the fire in the stove grew too big. Flames jumped out and caught his sleeve. He pulled back, but the fire was already burning his arm. Hana screamed and ran to him. She grabbed his burning arm with both hands. The fire went out immediately. When Taewoo looked at his arm, there was no burn. His skin was red but not damaged, and Hana's hands, her hands were not burned at all. The fire had not hurt her. How did you do that? Taewoo asked. Hana looked scared. She looked at her sister. Yuna came forward quickly. Hana is very good at stopping fires. Our mother taught us. It's a trick. It's a trick. A trick? Taewoo looked at his arm again. The pain was already going away. That was more than a trick. Please don't be angry, Yuna said. Her golden eyes were worried. Tae-woo looked at the two girls. They were afraid. Afraid he would be angry. Afraid he would send them away. He had seen that fear in soldiers who made mistakes. The fear of punishment. He knelt down so he was at their level. I'm not angry. I'm grateful. You helped me. That's a good thing. The girls relaxed a little. But Tae-woo did not forget what had happened. He started watching more carefully. The second strange thing happened a month later. A wild animal came onto the farm at night. It was a Vega wolf, a dangerous hunter with sharp teeth and claws. Tae-woo heard the girls screaming and ran outside with his old soldier's rifle. But when he reached the garden, the wolf was already running away. It was limping. Its fur was burned and smoking. And standing in the garden were Yuna and Hana. Their eyes were glowing brighter than usual. The air around them was hot, like standing next to a fire. What happened? Tae-woo asked. The wolf tried to bite Hana, Yuna said. So I scared it away. How? Yuna did not answer. But Tae-woo saw her hands. For just a moment, he saw scales on her skin, golden scales that shined in the moonlight. Then they were gone. That night, after the girls went to sleep, Tae-woo sat alone and thought. The golden eyes, the fire resistance, the scales, the glowing. These were not normal children. He had fought in wars across many planets. He had seen many alien species, but he had never seen anything like this. He thought about reporting them to the authorities. There were rules about alien species living among humans. There were tests and registrations and special facilities. But then he thought about Yuna and Hana, how they smiled when they helped him in the garden. How Hana laughed when she caught a butterfly. How Yuna carefully tucked her sister into bed every night. How they both ran to hug him when he came home from the city. They were children. Whatever else they might be, they were still children. Tae-woo made a decision. He would not report them. He would not ask questions. He would simply love them and protect them. That was what a father did. And somewhere along the way, without meaning to, he had become their father. The third month brought more changes. The girls were growing. Not just bigger, but stronger. Much stronger than human children should be. One day, Tae-woo needed to move a large machine part in his shed. It weighed at least 200 kilograms. He was getting ready to use his lifting equipment when Hana walked up. I can help, she said. Before Tae-woo could stop her, she lifted the machine part with both hands. She carried it across the shed and put it down where he wanted it. She was not even breathing hard. Hana, Tae-woo said. That was. How did you? Hana suddenly realized what she had done. Her face became red. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yuna says, I should not show my strength. Tae-woo sat down on a box. His legs felt weak. Hana, please be honest with me. What are you and your sister? Hana looked at the ground. We are different, but we are not bad. Please don't send us away. I would never send you away, Tae-woo said. Never. I just want to understand, so I can protect you better. Hana looked up. Her golden eyes were full of tears. You want to protect us? Of course. You are my daughters now. Fathers protect their daughters. 2-3. The tears fell from Hana's eyes. She ran to Tae-woo and hugged him tightly. He held her and felt how warm her body was. Warmer than any human. Like a small fire was burning inside her. That evening, Yuna came to Tae-woo. She looked serious. Hana told me what happened. And what you said. I meant every word. I know. That is why I will tell you the truth. She sat down across from him. We are not human, Tae-woo. We are something else. Something that humans call dragons. Tae-woo was quiet. Dragons. He had heard stories. Ancient beings of fire and power. But those were just legends. Myths from old Earth. Weren't they? Dragons are real? He asked. Very real. We are one of the oldest species in the galaxy. We were flying between stars when humans were still living in caves. Yuna paused. I tell you this because you have been kind to us. You deserve to know what you have welcomed into your home. And your mother. Yuna's eyes became sad. Our mother is important. Very important. She is fighting in a war. A big war. Far from here. She hid us on this planet because it was safe. Because no one would look for dragon children among humans. But the war on this planet was not part of her plan. We almost died. But then you found us. Yuna looked at him with those ancient, golden eyes. You could have walked away. You could have ignored two strange children in the ruins. But you didn't. You took us home. You fed us. You gave us love. Taewoo felt his eyes become wet. He was not a man who cried often. But this moment felt important. I don't care what you are, he said. Human, dragon, anything else. You are my daughters now, and I will protect you with my life. Yuna smiled. It was a real smile, without fear or secrets. You are a strange human. Taewoo, I have been told that before. Our mother will come for us someday, when the war is over, when it is safe. Then I will keep you safe until that day. What Taewoo did not know was that dragons lived for thousands of years. They had long memories. And they never forgot those who showed them kindness. By loving two dragon children, this simple human farmer had changed the future of his entire species. He had no way of knowing this. He only knew that he had a family now. And he was happy. In the bedroom, Hana was already asleep, but she was smiling. For the first time since they came to this planet, she felt completely safe. She had a home. She had a sister. And now she had a father. A human father who knew what they were and loved them anyway. That was more precious than all the treasure in the Dragon Empire. 2 years had passed since Taewoo found the girls in the ruins. The small farm had grown bigger. The house had more rooms now. Life was good and peaceful. But far away, across the endless darkness of space, something was coming. The Dragon Queen's ship was called the Eternal Flame. It was 3 kilometers long and made of black metal that never broke. Inside it were 10,000 dragon warriors. Each one was strong enough to destroy a city. But none of them were as powerful as the queen herself. Her name was Nari. She sat on a throne made of gold and fire. Her scales were red like fresh blood. Her eyes burned with ancient fury. Around her, her generals waited in silence. No one spoke unless the queen allowed it. Show me the planet, Nari commanded. A hologram appeared in front of her. A small blue and green world, Vega 7. The planet where she had hidden her daughters 2 years ago. The planet she was finally returning to. We will arrive in 6 hours, my queen, a general said. Shall we prepare for landing? Prepare for everything, Nari said. Her voice was cold and hard. My daughters have been alone on that world for too long. If any harm has come to them, I will burn every living thing on that planet. The general bowed. He knew the queen was not making an empty threat. She had destroyed planets before. Entire worlds turned to ash because they angered her. The Dragon Queen was not known for mercy, but deep inside her cold heart, Nari was afraid. 2 years was a long time. Her daughters were still young, still vulnerable. What if something had happened to them? What if she had made a mistake by hiding them there? The war against the Kalori Empire was finally over. The dragons had won. But the victory had taken 2 years longer than expected. 2 years when her children were alone. 2 years when she could not protect them, if they were hurt, or worse. Nari did not want to think about it. But the dark thoughts came anyway. On Vega 7, Taewoo was working in his garden. Yuna was helping him pull out weeds. Hana was playing with a small animal she had found in the forest. It looked like a rabbit, but with blue fur. She had named it Cloud. Father, Yuna said. She had started calling him that a year ago. The first time she said it, Taewoo cried for an hour. Something feels strange today. Taewoo stood up and looked around. The sky was clear. The wind was gentle. Everything looked normal. What do you mean? Yuna's golden eyes looked toward the sky. I don't know. It feels like something is coming. Something powerful. Hana came running over with Cloud in her arms. I feel it too. It feels like Mother. Taewoo's heart dropped. Mother. The Dragon Queen. He had known this day would come. The girls had told him about their mother. The most powerful dragon in the galaxy. A being of unimaginable strength, who ruled over an empire that covered 1,000 worlds. What would she think of a simple human farmer raising her children? What would she do to him? If your mother is coming, Taewoo said carefully. That is good news. You have missed her. You should be happy. We are happy, Yuna said. But we are also scared. Mother is not gentle with strangers, especially humans. She doesn't like humans? Yuna looked down. Dragons have lived for millions of years. We have seen many species rise and fall. Most species are weak. They fight among themselves. They destroy their own worlds. Dragons see them as lesser beings. Taewoo nodded slowly. He understood. To a being that lived for thousands of years and could destroy planets, humans must seem like insects. Short-lived, unimportant, easy to crush. Will she hurt you for living with a human? He asked. No, Yuna said quickly. She will never hurt us. But she might. She stopped. She might hurt me. Taewoo finished. The girls were quiet. That was answer enough. Taewoo took a deep breath. He looked at his farm. At the house he had built. At the garden he had grown. At the two girls who had become his entire world. He had known this day would come. He had always known. Then we should prepare, he said. Your mother is a queen. We should show proper respect. Father, no, Hana said. Her eyes were filling with tears. You should run. You should hide. Mother won't find you if... I will not run, Taewoo said firmly. I am not afraid. But she might kill you. Taewoo knelt down and took both girls' hands. Listen to me. Both of you. For 2 years, you have been my daughters. I have loved you every single day. I have watched you grow. I have taught you and protected you. Those 2 years were the happiest of my life. Father, Yuna whispered, if your mother wants to kill me for that, then let her try. But I will not run away. I will not hide. I will stand here, in my home, and I will tell her the truth. That her daughters are wonderful. That they are kind and brave, and beautiful. And that I am proud to have been their father. Even for a short time. The girls hugged him. They cried into his chest. Taewoo held them tightly and looked at the sky. Somewhere up there, a queen was coming. A being of fire and power that could end his life with a thought. He was terrified. But he did not show it. Fathers had to be brave for their children. 3 hours later, the sky turned dark. Not with clouds, but with something else. A shadow fell over the entire planet. People in the city looked up and screamed. A ship was covering the sky. A ship so large that it blocked out the sun. The eternal flame had arrived. Smaller ships dropped from the great vessel. Dragon warriors in black armor landed around Taewoo's farm. They made a circle around his property. Hundreds of them. Their eyes glowed red in the darkness. They did not speak. They did not move. They simply waited. Then she came. A pillar of fire fell from the sky and struck the ground in front of the house. The heat was incredible. Taewoo covered his eyes. The girls ran forward, their own bodies becoming hotter to match the flame. When the fire cleared, a woman stood there. But she was not truly a woman. She was at least 2.5 meters tall. Her skin was covered in red scales that shined like rubies. Her hair was made of actual flames that danced and flickered. Her eyes were golden, like her daughters, but filled with an ancient and terrible power. The Dragon Queen, Nari, mother of Yuna and Hana, ruler of the Dragon Empire. She looked at her daughters first. Her fierce expression changed for just a moment. Love, relief, joy. She opened her arms. My children, Yuna and Hana, ran to her. They hugged her with all their strength. Nari held them close. Her flames became softer, gentler. For a moment, she was not a terrible queen. She was simply a mother, holding her children. But then she looked up. Her eyes found Tae-woo, and the love disappeared. Only cold fury remained. "You," she said. Her voice shook the ground. "You are the human who took my daughters." Tae-woo stood straight. His legs wanted to shake. His heart was beating so fast it might explode. But he did not run. He did not bow. He looked directly into the eyes of the most powerful being he had ever seen. "I am," he said. "My name is Tae-woo, and I did not take them. I saved them. There is a difference. I woo. I woo." The dragon warriors around the farm made angry sounds. How dare a human speak to their queen like that? But Nari raised one hand, and they became silent. "Saved them?" Nari stepped forward. With each step, the ground burned beneath her feet. "You dare claim to have saved the heirs of the Dragon Empire?" "I do, because I did." Nari's eyes narrowed. Fire gathered around her hands. The very air became hot enough to burn. She was ready to kill. But between them, Yuna and Hana stood. They spread their arms wide, protecting Tae-woo with their small bodies. "No, mother," Yuna shouted. "You cannot hurt him. He is our father," Hana cried. "He loves us." The fire in Nari's hands flickered. She looked at her daughters. They were defending a human, protecting him, calling him father. What had happened on this planet during the 2 years she was gone? The queen stood still. The whole world held its breath, and Tae-woo waited to see if he would live or die. The fire in Nari's hands did not go out. She stared at her daughters with confusion and anger. They were protecting a human, a simple, fragile human. This made no sense. "Move aside, children," Nari commanded. Her voice was softer now, but still hard. "This human does not deserve your protection." "And the same R. Yes, he does," Yuna said. She did not move. "Mother, please listen to us. You are young. You do not understand. Humans are weak. They are selfish. They cannot be trusted." Hana shook her head. "Father is not like that. He saved us. He fed us when we were starving. He kept us warm when we were cold. He loves us, mother. Really loves us." Nari's flames flickered again. Love. That word hurt her in ways she did not expect. For 2 years, she had fought a terrible war. For 2 years, she had worried about her children every single day. She had killed thousands to protect her empire, all while wondering if her daughters were alive. And now she finds them healthy, safe, happy, calling a human their father. She should be grateful. But all she felt was anger, jealousy. This human had given her children something she could not. Time, presence, daily care, all the simple things a mother should give. "Step aside," Nari said again, but her voice was weaker now. "No," Yuna said firmly. "I will not let you hurt him. If you want to kill Tae-woo, you will have to go through me first." The dragon warriors gasped. No one had ever defied the queen like this. No one had ever dared. But Yuna stood her ground. Her golden eyes met her mother's without fear. Behind her, Tae-woo felt his heart breaking. This little girl, this child he had raised for 2 years, was ready to fight her own mother to protect him. He could not allow that. He stepped forward and gently moved Yuna aside. She tried to stop him, but he shook his head. "No, Yuna. I will not hide behind you. Father, please. Let me speak to your mother. That is all I ask." Tae-woo walked toward the Dragon Queen. Each step felt like walking into fire. The heat coming from her body was incredible. His skin began to burn. His clothes started to smoke. But he did not stop. He stopped 3 meters from her. Any closer and he would burst into flames. He looked up at her terrible, beautiful face. A face that could launch wars and destroy worlds. "Queen Nari," he said. "I know what I am. I am a human. A small, weak, short-lived creature. To you, I am less than an insect. I understand. Nari said nothing. She just watched him with those burning eyes. But I want you to know what happened. 2 years ago, there was a war on this planet. The Kalori attacked us. Your daughters were caught in the fighting. They were alone, starving, hiding in the ruins of a destroyed building. They would have died if no one found them. I found them. I could have walked away. I could have ignored 2 strange children with golden eyes. But I didn't. I took them home. I fed them. I gave them a place to sleep. And over time, I came to love them. Not because they are dragons. Not because they are princesses, but because they are good, kind, wonderful children. Nari's flames grew smaller as she listened. Her eyes never left Taewoo's face. I know you are angry, Taewoo continued. You left your children in a safe place. And a war came anyway. You trusted that they would be okay. And instead, they almost died. That is not your fault. You were fighting your own war. You were protecting your empire. You did what you had to do. And I did what I had to do. I protected them. I raised them. I taught them about human kindness and human love. Not because humans are better than dragons, but because kindness and love are the same in every species. The words might be different, but the feeling is the same. Taewoo took another step forward. His skin was blistering now, but he did not stop. You can kill me if you want. I will not fight back. I am no match for you. But before you do, I want you to see something. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small piece of paper. It was burned at the edges from the heat, but still readable. He held it up. It was a drawing. A child's drawing. It showed 3 figures standing together. 2 small ones with yellow eyes, and 1 tall one with a big smile. Above them, in messy handwriting, were the words, My family. Hana drew this 6 months ago, Taewoo said. She gave it to me on the anniversary of the day I found them. She said it was the best day of her life. Not because of me, because for the first time, she felt like she belonged somewhere. Nari's flames went out completely. She stared at the drawing. Her hands, which had been ready to kill, fell to her sides. For 2 years, your daughters have been happy, Taewoo said. They have laughed. They have played. They have grown. They have been loved. I know you love them too. I know you want what is best for them. So ask yourself, is killing me what is best? Will that make them happy? Or will it teach them that love is something to be punished? Silence fell over the farm. The dragon warriors were frozen in place. No one had ever spoken to the queen like this. No one had ever dared, but Taewoo was not speaking as a subject to a queen. He was speaking as a father to a mother, and in that moment, their roles were equal. Nari looked at the drawing for a long time. Then she looked at her daughters. They were holding each other, tears streaming down their faces. They were terrified, not of her but for the human they called father. Something inside Nari cracked. A wall she had built around her heart over millions of years. She had seen so many species, so many worlds, so many wars. She had learned to be hard, to be cold, to trust no one. But this human, this tiny, fragile, burning human, had shown more courage than any dragon she had ever met. He had stood before her, knowing he would die, and spoken of love, not begging for mercy, not making excuses, just simple, honest truth. She looked at his face. It was red and blistered. His hair was starting to smoke, but his eyes were calm, ready to accept whatever came. You are dying, she said. Her voice was quiet now. I know, Taewoo said. The heat is killing you. Every moment you stand there, you get closer to death. I know, but I needed you to hear me. I needed you to understand. Nari stepped forward. Taewoo closed his eyes, ready for the end. But instead of fire, he felt something cool, like water flowing over his burns. He opened his eyes. The queen was touching his face. Her hands, which had been hot enough to melt metal, were now gentle and healing. The burns on his skin disappeared. The pain faded. He could breathe again. "Why?" he whispered. Nari looked into his eyes. For the first time, she did not see an insect. She saw a father, a protector, a being of courage and love. "Because my daughters are right," she said. "You are their father. And no mother should kill her children's father." Behind them, Yuna and Hana cried out with joy. They ran forward and hugged both Nari and Taewoo together. The dragon warriors watched in amazement. Their terrible queen was hugging a human. The universe had gone mad, but it had not gone mad. It had simply witnessed something rare and precious, a moment of connection between two species who thought they could never understand each other. And in that moment, everything changed. The sun returned as the great ship moved away from the planet. The dragon warriors had gone back to their vessels. The terrifying show of power was over. What remained was something no one had expected. The dragon queen, Nari, was sitting in Taewoo's small kitchen. She looked strange there. A being of ancient power, sitting on a wooden chair, at a simple table. Her flames were completely gone now. She had taken a human form, still tall and beautiful, but no longer covered in scales. Only her golden eyes remained unchanged. Taewoo placed a cup of tea in front of her. His hands were still shaking a little. An hour ago, he was ready to die. Now he was serving tea to the ruler of 1,000 worlds. "This is tea?" Nari said, looking at the cup. "Yes, green tea. It's a traditional human drink." She lifted the cup and smelled it carefully. Then she took a small sip. Her eyes widened slightly. "It is pleasant." Taewoo smiled. "I'm glad you like it." Yuna and Hana sat on either side of their mother. They were glowing with happiness. Their two families were together in one room. This was something they had dreamed about, but never thought possible. "Tell me everything," Nari said. "Tell me about these 2 years. I want to know all of it." So Taewoo told her. He talked about finding the girls in the ruins, about bringing them home, about the first time Hana called him father, about teaching Yuna to read human books, about the night when Yuna told him the truth about what they were, about his decision to love them anyway. He talked for hours. The sun set and rose again. And through it all, Nari listened. Sometimes her eyes became wet. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes she laughed at stories of Hana chasing animals around the farm. When Taewoo finished, Nari was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke. "I have lived for 12 million years. I have ruled the Dragon Empire for 8 million of those years. I have seen civilizations rise and fall. I have watched stars be born and die. In all that time, I thought I understood the universe." She looked at Taewoo with new eyes. "I was wrong. I did not understand humans at all. I thought you were simple creatures. Weak, short-lived, unimportant. But you have shown me something different. You have shown me that the measure of a being is not in power or years of life. It is in the heart, in the capacity to love without expecting anything in return." "I only did what any good person would do," Taewoo said quietly. "No, that is not true. Many beings would have left my daughters to die. Many would have used them for their own benefit once they learned what they were. You did neither. You simply loved them. That is not common. In my experience, that is extremely rare." She stood up from the table. She was tall again, back to her true height. But she did not seem threatening anymore. She seemed almost gentle. "Taewoo of Vega 7, she said formally. "I, Queen Nari of the Dragon Empire, hereby declare you a friend of dragons. This title has not been given to any non-dragon in 6 million years. It carries great weight." Also, Taewoo did not know what to say. "I... thank you? As a friend of dragons, you are under the eternal protection of my empire. Any attack on you is an attack on us. Any enemy of yours is an enemy of ours. And..." She paused. "You are officially recognized as the adoptive father of my daughters." They will carry your name alongside their dragon names. They are Yuna and Hana of the Dragon Empire, and also daughters of Tae-woo. Yuna and Hana jumped up and hugged their mother. Then they hugged Tae-woo. Then they tried to hug everyone at the same time and fell over in a pile of arms and laughter. Nari watched them with soft eyes. Then she looked at Tae-woo. There is one more thing. Humans have always been alone in the galaxy. You have no powerful allies. No ancient friends. Other empires see you as weak. Targets for conquest. That ends today. What do you mean? I mean that the Dragon Empire will officially declare humanity as a protected species. Any attack on human worlds will be considered an act of war against the dragons. Your enemies will become our enemies. Your safety will be guaranteed by the most powerful military force in the galaxy. Tae-woo sat down heavily. This was too much to process. He had just wanted to raise 2 little girls. Now he had somehow changed the entire future of his species. Why? He asked. Why would you do all this for us? Nari smiled. It was the first real smile he had seen from her. Because of you, Tae-woo. Because one human showed kindness to my children when they had nothing. Because you taught me that humanity is worth protecting. If there are more humans like you, then your species deserves a chance to grow. To become something greater. There are many humans like me, Tae-woo said. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We fight among ourselves. But most of us just want to live peacefully. To love our families. To be happy. Then that is enough. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy changed. News of the Dragon Empire's protections spread across human space. Enemy empires that had been planning attacks suddenly canceled their fleets. Traders and diplomats rushed to make deals with humans. Suddenly, being human was not a weakness, it was a connection to the most powerful empire in existence. And it all started because of one retired soldier and 2 hungry children. Tae-woo's farm became famous. People from all over human space wanted to visit the place where the Dragon Queen had declared friendship with humanity. But Tae-woo did not care about fame. He just wanted to tend his vegetables and raise his daughters. Nari visited often. At first it was strange, a 12-million-year-old queen coming to a small farm for dinner. But over time, it became normal. She would sit in the kitchen, drink tea, and listen to stories about the girl's day. She was learning to be a mother again. And Tae-woo was teaching her how. You make it look easy, she said one evening, watching him help Hana with her homework. It's not easy, Tae-woo admitted. But nothing worth doing is easy. Love takes effort. Patience. Time. You cannot rush it or force it. You have to let it grow naturally. Like a plant in a garden. Nari nodded slowly. I have commanded armies. I have conquered empires. But I do not know how to command love. That's because love cannot be commanded. It can only be given. Hana looked up from her homework. Father gives the best hugs. Maybe you should learn from him, mother. Nari raised an eyebrow at Tae-woo. Is this true? She is exaggerating. I want to test this claim. Before Tae-woo could react, the Dragon Queen hugged him. It was awkward and strange, and probably the most unusual moment in both their lives, but it was also warm and genuine and real. Yuna and Hana laughed and joined the hug. For a moment, there in the small kitchen of a farmhouse on a tiny planet, the most powerful being in the galaxy was just a mother, and a retired soldier was just a father, and 2 dragon princesses were just children. This is how history is made. Not with great battles or political speeches, but with small moments of connection. With cups of tea and children's laughter and awkward hugs. Tae-woo never became a famous leader or a great hero. He remained a simple farmer until his last day. But his legacy lived on for millions of years. Humans told stories about him, the man who adopted 2 dragon girls and changed the fate of his species. And in the Dragon Empire, he was remembered differently. Not as a great warrior or a brilliant strategist, but as the human who taught a queen to love. That was worth more than all the treasures in the galaxy. When Tae-woo finally died, 80 years later, he was surrounded by his daughters. They had not aged a day dragons live for millions of years. But their tears were real. Their grief was deep. Nari came to his funeral. She stood among humans and cried with them. The Dragon Queen, who had never shown weakness in 8 million years, wept for a simple farmer. And when she returned to her empire, she gave one final order. In the Hall of Heroes, where dragons remembered their greatest legends, a new statue was placed. It showed a human man holding 2 small girls. Underneath it were these words: Tae-woo of Earth, father of dragons, friend of the Empire, teacher of love. He showed us that true strength is not in fire or claws. It is in the heart, and so it was, and so it would be, for as long as dragons remembered, which is to say, forever.